Have you ever noticed that when someone or some people walk into a room and suddenly grabs everyone's attention? And mostly it's not their looks, money, or intelligence, it's their good communication skills. And the good news is anyone can learn that. So in this video, I'm going to make you an expert in communication skills. And if you subscribe to my channel and apply it in your life and watch all the videos, I promise you that you are going to transform into the best version of yourself and attract everything you want in life. Number one, speak slowly and calmly. I know most of the time people think or you think that the more fast you speak, the more good your speed is, the more intelligent or smart you're going to look. But no, it actually does the opposite. It does not impresses people. Instead, it makes it harder for them to understand what you're saying. A calm speaker turns out to be more confident than a person who is speaking fast. Because if you want to be good at communication skills, there's a different thing if you just want to go out and give a speech or do something. But if you're speaking fast, which people are not even able to understand what you're saying, then what's the point? If you actually want to be a good communicator, the first thing you need to understand is that people should be understanding what you're trying to say. So stop going after how fast you're speaking. Instead, start chasing that competition, how understood you are, how easily you can make people understand things or what you're saying. So speak calmly and slowly and clearly. Watch interviews, podcasts, and sitcoms. And now, after watching, analyze and examine how all these people who are sitting and doing podcasts and doing interviews look and examine first thing their body language, the way they are sitting, the way their hand movement is going, and what kind of questions are they asking, what kind of things are they speaking, and how they are framing it into words, how they're making it easy for people to understand, and how they're using the power of their vocabulary while they're speaking. And if you want to get good at vocabulary, watch more English movies and English series if you want really good vocabulary with people, and read more books and articles. So now this is the second step where you go and after watching all these things, practice it for yourself. Imagine yourself sitting in an interview and a podcast, how you're going to speak, how you're going to portray your words. Practice every day. Now, I want you to take one random topic every single day. It could be anything of your own interest or anything. Just take one random topic and don't practice about it like randomly. Just put on your camera and switch on the camera and start speaking about that topic for 2 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes and record your video every single day. Now, I just don't want you to record. After recording, I want you to analyze, look at the video, and see yourself. Because when you see yourself, it becomes easy for you to understand that where are you hesitating, what more do you need to be good at communication skills, and how your body language looks like when you're speaking certain things, and how in what way you're explaining things. And now I want you to look at your video, not that you are watching it, but I want you to look at your video and become a stranger. Like, see your video from the perspective that a stranger is looking at that video. How easy are you making things for people to understand, and how good at you are at explaining and communicating. Analyze your behavior and every single thing in that video. And then with practice, trust me, you're going to get better every single day if you do this exercise. Listen more than you speak. Most people think that being great at communication skills is just about talking, and be good at talking. But no, in reality, the great communicators are first the great listeners. Because the more you listen to people, the more you focus on what they're actually trying to say, and not just catching on their words, but actually thinking and analyzing that what is the intention behind what they are trying to say and explain it to you. And then instead of reacting to what they are saying, responding wisely. When you become a great listener, what changes is that if someone is saying something to you, you're not going to just impulsively react to it. You're going to analyze that, okay, what exactly are they trying to say? What is the intention? And then you respond to it in your own way, and that makes you appear more smart and more good. So instead of just going after talking, first try to listen to people, then you speak fast. Stop using filler words. Like, sometimes when you begin practicing communication skills, but when you actually go out there and talk to people or give speeches, you start hesitating. You start using words like, you look like you're confused. You start using words like, 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 okay, the pauses, weird ones. Don't do that, because it actually makes you look like a weak communicator and actually ruins and affects your impression. Because then if you're doing too much of it, if you're using too much filler words like okay, like this, people start thinking that you're even confused about what you are speaking, and then they tend to not trust you what you're trying to tell them. So instead of using such filler words, replace it with pauses. If something you are not able to speak, instead of using oh, pause. Just pause, because silence is much much better than actually hesitating. So just pause, then people will think, okay, this is a wise person and they're actually thinking before speaking something. Focus on making others feel important. The best way and the greatest way to become really an expert communicator is to make people feel seen, heard, understood, and respected. People might forget your words, what you said to them, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Being a great communicator is not just about talking or listening, just that. But it also is when you have the power to make someone smile, when you can make someone feel powerful, respected, and seen. You can relate to them nicely, and then people connect with you more in that way. Now, the tone of your voice. You think that by being the loudest person in the room, you can gain more attention and people will hear you more and trust you more. No, but what you don't realize here is that truth, facts, and smart people do not need to raise their voice in order to feel heard or get that attention and get people to trust them. Remember, whatever you speak, the way you're delivering it to the other person, the response of that person depends on that. Remember that whatever you are saying, but if you're speaking it in a bad tone, if you're saying it in a wrong tone, then that's what you're going to get back. If you're saying thing that is right, but you are using the wrong tone, then it's not going to appear or it's not going to get delivered in the right way. Instead, the person that you're delivering it to is going to think that you are very smart, you are very overconfident, you're very arrogant. So remember, the tone of your voice really affects and matters the way you're communicating with people. Communication isn't a talent you're born with, it is a skill that you learn with practice. Also, communication is not about having the perfect words, the perfect vocabulary, and the perfect fluency. It's more about how better you can make people feel seen, heard, understood, and respected. Let me tell you. Remember the kind of people you feel the most connected with when you're talking to them. Are they the most intelligent, the most charming, and the most smartest person ever? No. But what makes you connect to those people more? Because they make you feel seen, they make you feel understood, they make you feel comforting, right? When you have such people in your life, they're not the smartest or the most intelligent, but why you feel good at communicating with them, how comfortable you are communicating your feelings with them, because you think that they will understand you, they will know you, they will make you feel seen, right? And if you know how to do this, if you have this power, you do not need any vocabulary. You do not need any kind of greatest intelligence, smartness, or fluency to become great at communicating, because the power of making someone feel important, someone feel seen and heard, is the greatest power which can make you even the greatest communicator. And if you do this, you will naturally become the person people would listen to. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I really hope that if you follow even one or two steps I have told you in this video, and for a week, you are going to notice the difference in you. And I thus want you to follow all the steps and become a really great communicator, because I am here to transform you into the best version of yourself and attract everything you want in life. And do subscribe to my channel, and also do tell me what things are you going to do from now on to improve your communication skills. Thank you so much.